Hello! Today we're going to look at doing a promoted link style navigation in SharePoint. Some of you guys who've been using SharePoint for a long time might remember the old promoted links web part, which was in classic SharePoint. And this is something that you don't have now with modern web parts and in modern pages. However, we can create our own. One web part that I like and I use a lot is the quick links web part. It's one of the first things I add, especially on the home page in new modern team sites. However, there are some limitations with the quick links web part. You can't control many aspects about it. For example, you can't explicitly set the size of the links. You can't do things like change the color of the links or set the font family or the font size. There's a lot of things about that you can't get exactly the way you want. In contrast, this type of navigation that we're going to set up lets you control those special parts of the look and feel to get your own personalized navigation. So now, let's get SharePoint Smart. Okay, I am in my SharePoint Online site, and this is just a regular, plain vanilla, modern team site in SharePoint. And so to get started, as with many things in SharePoint, the first thing I need to do is go ahead and create a list. And that's going to be the list that we're going to use for our navigation. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my site contents directory. So I clicked on the gear icon in the upper right. I'm just going to Site Contents, click New, and I'll make a new list. I'll select Blank List, and I'll call this My Promoted Links. Don't need a description. You can show it in the site navigation if you want to. I don't need it in my case. And then you'll have a plain vanilla SharePoint list, and from there you can build. Okay, so in order to set this up, I'm going to use this tool, which is SharePoint Dashboards.com. And so I've got that open, and I can just go to that website and click on the green Get Started button, and this will drop me into the home page for that tool. And then I just hit the blue drop down. You're going to see lots of options there. The one that we're focused on right now is the one that says View Promoted Links. Okay, so I selected that, and on the page you're going to see a preview that kind of shows you what we're building, and then it gives you some information. So you can see there are some fields and configuration that are listed. So at first you can kind of browse through this information. It'll tell you a little bit about what you're doing and help you to know the steps to set this up. Okay, so when you go in there, you're going to notice a particular section that's important to us. And the section is the fields. And what this says is for this formatted view, you need to have these fields set up in your list and available. So we've got title, text field, URL, a text field called MS Icon, a yes/no field called New Tab, a choice field called Text Color, a choice field called bgColor for background color, and a number field called Order. I do need to have these fields in order to be able to set up this cool navigation, so there's no way around that, but luckily that's pretty easy to do. The title field's already there, and then the next field we need is a text field called URL. So I can just come over to my list and I'll do a single line of text, and I'll type in the field name, which I'm calling URL. I want that to be required, so I went to more options and I will require that. Okay, there's my field URL. And then the next one I want is a text field called MS Icon. So I'll add another column, again text, MS Icon. I want that to be required, so I'll do it just like the last one. And save. There's that text field. Okay, I need a yes/no field called new tab. So I'm going to add a column, and this is a yes/no. It's called new tab. Whoop. And I want the default to be no. What this refers to is when you want the link to open another browser tab. And normally we don't want that, but this is a configuration option that will be part of our navigation. Okay, there's that field. And we only have 3 more to go. We have 2 choice fields to do. One's called text color and the other is called bgColor. Okay, I'm going to do this from the list settings screen. I went to the gear, I'm going to list settings, and I'll show you why I'm doing it from this screen in a second. Okay, so the first choice field is called text color. Okay, text color. I want to select choice. Okay, I want that to be required. And in this dashboard tool, I have a part in the notes that's of particular interest. It says load these options for each of the 2 choice fields. Okay, so there's a long list of colors that are kind of written in a funny way, and these are Microsoft colors. These are standard colors that are part of a Microsoft set. In the case of what we're doing, we want that specific color set. All that you need to do is just highlight those, copy, and you can just paste it right back over to your SharePoint site very easily. Okay, I pasted them in there. For default, I don't want it to default. I'm going to delete the default. I will add this field to the default view. So that's good for text color. And then we need to do just exactly the same thing for another field, right? We had another choice field. That one's called bgColor. Okay, so just the same as the last field I did. I'll create a column, and we're going to call it bgColor, a choice field. SharePoint's thinking about that. Okay, I want it to be required, and I will paste that in. I do not want it to automatically fill in the default value, and we're good to go. Now the reason I created those links from this page is because in the list view page it doesn't let me paste in all my options at one time. So generally that's nice for setting up fields quickly, but in some situations that actually could slow me down. I'm missing one field, and that is a simple number field called order. That's how these links are going to be sorted. It controls the order of the navigation. Okay, so I need a number field, and I want this to be 0 decimal places, and I wanted to call that order. Let's make sure. I'm just double checking over here. Yep, calling it order. And 0 decimal places, okay? And we do want it to be required. So I went to the more options and I will require it. That's it. That's everything I need. Now at this point, what I need to do is start filling in options. And just to get going, you can just put in some practice information or something like that. Now I've got another list that I already was working on, which already has some options. Just to speed things up, I think you guys would be pretty bored if you're watching me type in all these options. But if you'll take a look at the screen I have set up right here, you can see that it's pretty simple. I often like to go to food examples, so you see apples project, bananas project, cherries project. Nothing too complicated. I just pasted in a link to Google, And then you can see for the text color, most of the time I did black, some of them are white, etc., etc. The MS icon, let me talk about that for a second. That is referring to special icons that are available in the website that Microsoft provides, which I'll go to. It's the UI Fabric icons. There's a link to it from my tool. And what you can do is use the search or browse through and find something that you like. So if I like this airplane here, when I hover over it, it tells me that link is just called airplane. You can right click on that and do copy friendly name and then paste it back over. But you do need to use those names for MS Icon. That's key. In fact, in the notes here, it suggests that it would make sense for you to put a link to that tool in your actual description. Okay? Now we're finally ready. We did the boring part. Now we get to the fun part. So I see this preview. That's what it's going to produce by default. Now, this is the formatting code that's automatically produced. This is what's called JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. And it's not a lot of fun to work with. It's cryptic, and there's lots of curly braces and nested code, and it's easy to get tripped up using that. But the good thing is you don't have to do anything other than just hit this copy button. It'll select it, it'll put it in your clipboard, and then at that point, I just come over here, and it's quite simple. I go to this list view drop down, and what I do is format current view. On this screen, SharePoint's going to suggest some options for you. It's already got some ideas of things you might want to do. We're wanting to go past that to the next screen. So click on advanced mode and then select all of that and just paste and save. And just instantly you see it update. Now, that's pretty cool already. But the thing that's really nice is this is dynamic, and I can actually tweak my options very quickly. So if I can actually stay in that format view screen, I can do things like adjust coloring and font sizes over in this tool. So over on this screen, it tells me a little bit about what the configuration options are at the top. So the hover background color right now is black. But what if I want to do something a little different? Let's say I want a hover background color blue. I just make that one mouse click. This code is updated immediately. I don't have to hit any extra buttons or anything. I can just hit copy again, paste, save, and I can see my results right away. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is adjust some font sizes and things like that. So let's try a little bit smaller tiles. Okay, this default file size or pixel size is 140. I'm going to change it to 100, and let's even do a different font family just for the heck of it. Okay, so I adjusted those options, and I'm going to copy that to SharePoint. And I just do select all, paste again, and save. Okay, instantly that's updated. So that's really cool. It does that very quickly for me. And there you can see the blue background color when I hover. I didn't see that the first time. Okay. All right. So you could get this to look however you want. You have different options. You can do all kinds of different configuration. However it is that you want to make that look. Okay, so let's say that we have the navigation the way that we want. This is navigation. I'm not going to have somebody click on a list screen to go to the navigation. That doesn't make sense. I want to show this on one of the regular site pages. Okay, so this list I have is called promoted links, but the one I created before was my promoted links. But just for my example, I'm going to use this. So the next step is to go back to site contents, and we want to create a page. Okay, so just new page from site contents. Okay, I'll say my new home. Okay, I don't like this field right below on the pages that puts the name of the person who created it. I pretty much always get rid of that, and then I pick a nice banner. Microsoft put in lots of stock images available. I like to use those. There seem to be lots of good options there. So I'll just pick one quickly for our example. Those plants look good. Okay, and then I'm gonna add the list view web part to the modern page. So hover over the middle, click on the plus, and I'm looking for a list. Okay, so my list is called promoted links. Now I did make my promoted links, but just to speed things up, the one that already had the links in it is called promoted links. Bam, it's there. That was easy. Okay, it's not just perfect yet. I don't want to see things like export to Excel at the top or edit in grid view. That would look ridiculous. So you just need to make one more adjustment. If you click on the pencil icon of the web part, you can go in here and you want to toggle this button where it says show command bar. I do not want to show the command bar. So toggle that over, hit apply, and all that silly stuff goes away. Now I'm done. Click publish. Now if you wanted to, or if you needed to, if you can make this the new home page of your site. So if I go to the site pages, you do have that option. Now the good thing about this is if I want to update this navigation, I can do that easily by just going to the promoted links, and I can adjust those parameters. Remember that I have all those different things in there. So I pre-filled those, but if I wanted to work on that, I can go in here. Whoops, that's not the one I want. Let's go back to promoted links. Let's make a, let's see, we already have that. Let's go to that, and you can just make a view that doesn't have the formatting in it. So let's do save view as navigation updates. Bam, like that. It's important to understand the formatting is stored to the view, not to the list. It's stored to the view. So navigation updates is where I actually want to go change things around. So I'll edit this view. Whoops, not edit the view. Format the view. I tripped myself up. Okay, format the current view. And all I got to do is just select all that and just delete it. Save. I'm not going to break anything. It just reverts it back to its default state. Okay. So editing these is simple. Okay, here's the pane with all the different properties in it. So the link is the title. Okay, the URL is the page that it's going to go to. There's the drop down of the text colors. That's the foreground color. Those are all those Microsoft colors. And then background color, same list. Okay, you can go through those. And then the order is the sequence. If you wanted it to pop open a new browser window, you toggle that on. Then the last thing is the Microsoft icon. One thing I will point out in the tool in SharePoint when you click on the color, it'll actually show you what those look like. So if those names are throwing you off a little bit, one thing you can do is reference over here and look at these options and find something that looks like you want. Okay, so we're done with our custom promoted link style navigation. All right, so let's go to the next thing. All right, I hope you guys found that interesting. That's probably different than the kinds of things that you're normally doing with out-of-the-box SharePoint. And this really opens the door to other possibilities. In fact, there's lots of creative possibilities in SharePoint. This template is letting you take control over the look and feel of navigation and really set things up just exactly the way that you want them to look. What you should do is maybe do a practice and try different configuration settings. I tried just a couple of things there, but you're probably going to have your own tastes as far as how you want things to look. And of course, you don't have to have it look like Easter. My example had all kinds of different colors going on. You could use your own theme. You could certainly have things more conservative or according to your own taste. And then when you're done with that, check out some of the other templates that are there. At the time of this recording, there's 21 different kinds of templates there that you can try, but there's going to be a lot more options added. So I hope you found that interesting. I hope you were able to follow along with the example. If you haven't, please go back through and try these steps yourself because it's fast, it's easy, and it's fun. So I hope you like that. I hope you get it set up in your own SharePoint environment. So let me know. Leave some feedback and comments, and if that's interesting to you, stick around and check out other stuff because we're going to do more cool things with view formatting. See you in the next video.